4 Cavalry in 1965 war. As you can see, this is the unit badge, and this is a part of Pakistan Army tank regiments in 1965 war. This short podcast is in English language. 4 Cavalry was raised on 1st November 1956 by Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Nawaz at Nowshera. Nawaz was originally from the ranks, an outstanding sportsman, very bold, blunt, and straightforward, and was identified by some good judge, British officer, as fit to be commissioned as an officer. Commissioned on 26th November 1942, Nawaz performed outstandingly as part of PAVO cavalry in Kashmir War of 1947-48. Nawaz had earlier served in 6 Lancers and also commanded 6 Lancers and 13 Lancers during his service. He was prematurely retired from the army as he clashed with the Armored Division commander over a matter of principle. 4 Cavalry lacked the solid historic traditions that still were unable to help much older tank regiments of Pakistan Army in facing the harsh furnace of actual war. The Pakistani 1st Armored Division was thrust on Pakistan Army by USA as part of US military aid. The formation was mostly commanded by infantry officers and was not exposed to serious rigors of military training. Brigadier Zadeh Khan, in his memoirs, The Wait was remembered how 4 Cavalry's tank fuel was finished while on military training, as they were non-serious and unprofessional in not correctly calculating the quantity required. As we will study the circumstances in which 4 Cavalry was launched, it would be clear to the reader that any regiment in 4 Cavalry's place would have failed. The dumb and impractical way in which it was launched into attack on 10th September 1965. 4 Cavalry was part of 4 Armored Brigade of 1st Armored Division. It was launched to outflank and attack the Indian 4 Mountain Division from the deep left flank, the west, on 10th September 1965. This was the most stupid and fatal decision of 1965 war, as there was no flank that 4 Cavalry was going to face in its advance, but whole of Indian 3rd Cavalry well deployed in good defensive positions. Strategically, Pakistan's 1st Armored Division had already failed on 7th and 8th September 1965 when it failed to concentrate the overwhelming superiority into battle area. Indians had reinforced the 4 Mountain Division with 2 tank regiments and were well prepared to defeat any Pakistani outflanking thrust on 10th September 1965 when 4 Cavalry was launched into the battle. However, it is shocking that 4 Cavalry's tanks were out of fuel after covering just 6 or 7 miles inside Indian territory, whereas the cruising range of M48 Patton's tanks was 70 miles. 4 Cavalry had a history of sloppy staff work, and Brigadier Zadeh Khan in his memoirs did note that 4 Cavalry's tank fuel used to finish even during the training exercises. Deeper analysis reveals that 4 Cavalry did not fight as it should have because it just lost 18 soldiers. No officer was killed, which indicates that officers were not leading from the front. Shockingly, to cover the disgrace of losing a tank regiment, the regiment was too lavishly awarded gallantry awards for surrendering without an honorable fight, whereas two tank squadron commanders of 13 Lancers who penetrated 23 miles inside Indian territory and sacrificed their life received no recognition in terms of even the lowest gallantry award. As you can see, 4 Cavalry was awarded 2 Sitara Jurats, 1 Tamgha Jurat, 2 Imtiazi Sanads, 2 CNC commendation cards, and suffered just 18 casualties. The regiment lost all tanks, a disgrace unique in history of Pakistan Army. Colonel Nazir was commanding 4 Cavalry. As you can see, he was made PW and was awarded a Sitara Jurat. You can see in this map, 4 Cavalry moved from concentration area to Kasur sector. They moved from Bhai Peru to Manga, Ravend, and the Kasur sector, as you can see. Initially, as you can see, 4 Cavalry crossed the BL and the Rohi Nala on night 8th-9th September to enter the 1st Armored Division bridgehead. As you can see, this is 4 Cavalry entering the bridgehead. Already 5 horses here, 24 Cavalry is here, 6 Lancer is here, 15 Lancer is here. As you can see, Indian 4 Mountain Division has taken a brilliant position astride the Khemkaran Amritsar road. As you can see, on 9th September, as you can see, Proben Horse was leading the advance and 4 Cavalry was still in the bridgehead, as you can see. And on 10th September, 4 Cavalry is launched, as you can see. They are launched on 10th September. 4 Cavalry leads 4 Armored Brigade advance on 10th September, led by its A Squadron 10FF group, which was supposed to move on the east side of 4 Cavalry by mistake, moves on the west side, later leading to confusion in 4 Cavalry, assuming that it was confronted by enemy tanks on the left flank, whereas these were Bravo Squadron 5-horse tanks, which were part of 10FF group, as you can see here. A lot of confusion. Already Indian tanks were in place and no attack would have succeeded. This is the fatal 4 Cavalry advance towards the north. Already, as you can see, Indian tanks are well poised to receive 4 Cavalry. This is the final attack. As you can see, Indian tanks are in a horseshoe position, well poised to receive 4 Cavalry. And this is the end of the matter.